Hi, welcome back to the video. It's Paddy here. If you don't know who I am or what this channel is about, essentially I am on a mission to make sales, marketing and customer acquisition far easier for gym owners and fitness professionals. This video today is going to be aimed towards gym owners, and essentially this is going to be a way that you can get 20, 30, even 40 new members for pretty much free in the next week. Okay, so if you do this correctly, and I'm about to show you how you do this correctly, you can get, as I say, up to 40 new members for free in the next week or so. Okay, it's called a database reactivation campaign. I'm going to show you exactly what it is, what you need to send, how you need to send it, all of the responses and how that's going to work. I'm going to show you on this video. So hopefully you find this useful, and let's jump into it. Okay, so welcome. Yeah, so as I say, this is a database reactivation campaign. It is designed for gym owners. Although if you are watching this and you're an online coach, or even if you provide any sort of service, you can apply the teachings and the methods within this video and apply it to your own business and it will work. Okay, so a database reactivation campaign is, you can do it in pretty much any business, but the way that it is structured and the language that we're using in this particular example is going to be in the example of a gym. So, as I say, if you aren't a gym owner, but you are a business owner of some sort and you're watching this, then you can basically turn this into something that suits your business and it will still work. So let's jump straight into it. So this is just a quick overview of what it is and how it works. So I'll just run through this and then I will show you the nitty gritty of what needs to be sent and when and how and all of that. So let's look at this. Okay, so what do you need? There's two things that you need, and that is an email list. The bigger the list, the better. So essentially this is just going to be a list of contacts that you have that you can send a message to. If you have around 5,000 plus, then you're really going to see some good results here. Of course, you can't just magically grow your email list. Okay, if you have a list of 500 or 1,000, then as I say, you can't just magically double that. So you're just going to have to work with what you've got. But as I say, the bigger this list, the better. So if you're watching this video and you've got a big list, then that should be more reason for you to want to try this thing out, because as I say, you've got a far bigger chance of actually converting these people into customers. And then second is a software to bulk send SMS text from. So we use a software called Go High Level, really good software. You can do text, emails, I think you can even do WhatsApps from there. And then there's a whole host of other features, like you can build websites, you can do all sorts. But we use Go High Level, so I recommend that. I can't really recommend any other softwares because I haven't really used them. We've been with High Level for a while now and we've got good results from it. So check it out. But as long as you've got some sort of software that can bulk send SMS texts, then you're set. What will you do? So we're going to send the inactive members that are on your list to the course of 2 days. Okay, very simple. I'm going to show you what those texts will look like. But yeah, so you can see this is only a 2 or 3 day thing, okay, depending on responses, because then once we get responses, then we're going to have to continue the conversation, which might last a couple of days, but this can be started and finished all within a week. And then what is the goal? So our goal here is to reactivate the non-members back into active members through an enticing offer that we push via text. Now, if you don't know what I mean by offer, or you're struggling to think of an offer, then I have already made a video about offers. So in that I talk about what they are, how we make them, why they're important, and I actually give you a list of offers which we've used, which work, that you can then just steal and use for your own marketing efforts. So you can steal one of those, put it through this, and you're gonna see results, no doubt about it. How often can we do it? So of course this is a really powerful tool, powerful marketing tool, which will get you results. But the more frequently we use it, the less powerful it becomes. But if you are someone that is, or if you're a gym owner in particular and you're looking to increase your marketing efforts, I mean, you're watching this video, which suggests that you're researching how you can become better at marketing, how you can get more members, and a part of that will be expanding your mailing list, hopefully, anyway. So if your mailing list is constantly expanding, then if we only use this once, then all the new people that have been added to your mailing list will not have gone through the database reactivation campaign. So if we're doing this once every 3 to 4 months, then all the new people that are part of your list will eventually then get pushed through some sort of reactivation campaign. So by doing that, we're leaving no stones unturned. So I recommend running this once every 3 to 4 months. Another good thing to do is you can actually tie this into some sort of annual event or a holiday. So examples that I've written down here are Black Friday, New Year's, Halloween, Easter. This can be quite a good way of actually introducing an offer, because if we can tie it into a holiday, or like Black Friday is a really good one because everyone expects deals over Black Friday. So if we can say, look, we're running a Black Friday offer, and we tie it to an annual event, or we tie it to a holiday, or as you can see at the bottom, we tie it into a season. So we can say this is our winter offer, or this is our summer offer. By tying it into something like that, then it sort of gives us another extra layer of reason to be pushing this deal to our prospects or to our list, and it makes it feel a bit more genuine and more authentic, rather than this person's just sending me an email because they want more people through the door. And it just makes it seem like it's a bit more genuine, and it might land a bit better with our mailing list if we're tying it into something and we sort of give it a bit more of a reason as to why we're sending out this offer, rather than making it seem like, oh, they're just sending out a message for the sake of it because they want new members. So you don't have to do that. The examples that I give don't do that. So yeah, it's not necessary, it's not a need, but it can help. So if you're planning on running this and it happens to fall on a holiday like New Year's or Halloween, then you can include it as a Halloween offer or a New Year's offer, but if not, don't worry, this is just an added extra. Okay, and then why are we using text, not email? So the data shows that 95% of texts are opened within 5 minutes, and email is only 20%. Okay, so you can see the open rate within 5 minutes is far better on text. Also, data shows that it takes the average person 90 seconds to respond to a text, whereas for email it takes 90 minutes. And then the average response rate for a text message is 45%, and for email it is 6%. So you can see the difference here in data and why it favours text over email. Now, what I'm not saying here is never ever use email, that email is bad. That there are people getting insane results with just email marketing. So what I would suggest is we use text, and I can confidently say that text works. But I'm not completely closed off to the idea of putting this kind of campaign through an email. So what I would say is start with the text, because I can confidently say that it works. Then maybe on your next database reactivation campaign in 3 months' time, you use email. Then you can look at the results from both of them, and you can then start to compare and contrast and start to understand which one is more effective. And then through just slowly testing different channels and different platforms to push this database reactivation campaign through, then you can make a decision as to whether you want to stick to text or stick to email. But if I were you and you don't want the hassle of going through and testing things out, I would just stick to text. We know it works. The data here suggests that it works. So yeah, stick to text if you're not fussed about testing and optimizing and all that kind of stuff, because this will get you good results. This is what we use. So yeah, text is our preferred channel. Okay, so that is sort of the overview and the theory and why we do it and what we're doing. So here we go. This is the actual system. I'm not going to prance around this. I'll just get stuck in. So text number 1. Hey name, I've got a handful of offer vouchers on my desk. I'm wondering if you'd be interested in redeeming one of them. Send me a thumbs up emoji and I'll write your name on one now. So a very simple text, but there's a lot of techniques in here and there are a lot of reasons as to why we are using the language that we're using. So I'll go through that now. So, hey name, simple. Everyone says that, that's fine. I've got a handful of offer vouchers on my desk. So again, if you don't know what offer you're going to use, then go watch the video, pick an offer or make up your own, and then put that in front of this vouchers thing. For the sake of the video, let's say that we're doing a 7-day free pass or a 7-day free trial to the gym. So I've got a handful of 7-day free trial vouchers on my desk. Why are we saying vouchers? So by tying the offer into something physical like vouchers, what that then suggests to the receiver of this text is that we have a physical pile of vouchers on our desk, meaning that this pile of vouchers is finite. These can run out. So hopefully by them picturing that there is a stack of vouchers which people are slowly asking to put their name on, okay, they're slowly being used up, is going to create a sense of urgency within the receiver, because they're, instead of them thinking, oh, that offers, I can look at that later, it will still be there when I look later, and then they just push it off as a task to do for the evening or a task for later, and then they never get around to it. By saying that there's vouchers, what we're suggesting to them is, look, you need to take action now, because there's a good chance that these vouchers are going to slowly run out and you'll miss your chance to redeem the offer. So that's why we're using the word vouchers. We can use other, it doesn't have to be vouchers. We could say, look, I've got a handful of offer slots left. I've got a handful of passes left. It doesn't have to be vouchers. We use vouchers because vouchers is then just sort of subconsciously tied to the idea of offer, free, coupon. Like it's common terminology when it comes to offers. So it's easy for people to relate and understand what's going on when we're talking about vouchers. But if you don't want to use that, then you can use something else that's not going to make or break your campaign. And then secondly, we're asking them to just send us a thumbs up emoji. So the reason we're doing that is it's very simple. We don't want to confuse the prospect. We don't want to make our call to action complicated in any way. Okay, a big rule in marketing is no matter what you are doing, if you're doing marketing, there is eventually going to be some sort of call to action, which is going to be instructions on how people can then move further. So how can people redeem your offer? How can people book in or sign up or buy or whatever it may be? That call to action needs to be mind-numbingly simple, to the point where a toddler can see it and sort of understand what needs to happen. So by asking them to send an emoji, extremely low barrier to entry. You can do that within a couple of taps. And also the thumbs up one is, not only does it just make sense within the context of the question and the scenario, but also a lot of people use the thumbs up emoji quite regularly. So it's probably going to be in their sort of box of recent emojis used when they click on the emoji button. So it's going to be there, easy to find for the prospect, and it just, again, it adds far less resistance for them to redeem the voucher and move forward. So those are all the reasons why we're doing that. That's the first text. Let's move on. So we're going to wait 2 hours and then we're going to send our second text, which is going to be, hey name, these vouchers are going pretty quickly. Please let me know if you're interested and I'll get your name down on one before they're gone. I don't want you to miss out. So what are the techniques that we're using here? So by saying to them, look, these vouchers are going pretty quickly, that's going to suggest to them that this is something that other people want, and by suggesting that other people are really interested in this thing, it's going to suggest that they should also be interested in this thing. Okay, it's this sort of herd mentality that all humans have. Okay, if we're out somewhere out in the open and we see a big crowd of people walking in a particular direction, our instincts and sort of our psychological makeup as humans make us want to follow the crowd. Okay, it's exactly the same reason why when people don't do the norm, when they buck the trend, when they go against the grain and they behave in a particular way that isn't seen as like normal, they are ostracized for that, and people make fun of them because it is in our DNA and part of human nature to follow the crowd. So we're using that sort of psychological bias in our favour by saying, look, these are going pretty quickly, because we are suggesting that a lot of people are finding value in this thing and you should too. So that's what we're doing there. And then we're also making sure that they're not missing out. So by saying, I don't want you to miss out, we're triggering that FOMO, okay, which is another marketing tactic, the fear of missing out. People hate the idea that they've missed out on something, particularly if that thing is a good deal or a good offer. So by saying, look, I don't want you to miss out here, again, we're just further pushing that sort of feeling of, are you sure you don't want to miss out on this? Because lots of people are doing it, and I don't want you to be one of those people that missed out. So that's what we're doing there. Again, very subtly, but this is the goal, and this is why these text messages seem quite relaxed and quite friendly and fairly informal. But there's actually a lot of marketing techniques and tactics within these very short messages. So you can by all means copy and paste these, but they're going to be better if you come up with them yourself, because obviously I'm making this video, there might be other gym owners that are watching this video that copy this exact tactic, and the more anything in marketing and sales is used, the less effective it becomes. So that's why I suggest anything in these videos that I show you, it's going to be in your best interest to understand the techniques and the goal of what we're doing, and then create your own version of that rather than just copy and paste. Because, as I say, the more something's used, the less effective it is. But if you come up with something yourself, then it's brand new, it's original, and there's no chance of anyone has used it before. So keep that in mind. And then the final text, which is going to be a day after the original text. So 24 hours after text 1, 22 hours after text 2. And this is going to read, hi name, I can't believe how quickly all the vouchers got taken yesterday. So since they seem to go down well, I've written out 10 more vouchers. So if you want one of these new ones, send me a thumbs up and I'll get your name on it. So again, we're using the similar kind of techniques that we used in the first two, which is we're suggesting to them that we had a stack of vouchers that went really quickly yesterday. This suggests to the person that's reading it that they are of high value and they're of high demand, because they don't know how many vouchers there were, but the vouchers that were there sold out quickly or got taken quickly. So a lot of people found a lot of value in those things, and that then makes them think that they should also find. So that's what we're trying to do by saying, look, they're all sold out in a day. So yeah, that's hopefully going to sort of add a further level of urgency. And that's what we're doing in all of these texts, is we're just pushing them for urgency. And we're not doing it in a way where it feels like pushy or we're being mean and we're saying like, take action now, and like we're being forceful. But we're just stating the facts, you know, look, these, well, facts as in, we're not saying to them like, you need to make sure that you're doing this quickly. We're just saying like, look, these are going quickly. Okay, so do with that information as you please. But to them, they're going to internalize that and think, I need to be urgent and I need to take action quickly. And then again, by saying that we've written out 10 more vouchers, we've now put a number on the number of vouchers that we have, which makes it far more real to the prospect. And it also allows them to sort of understand that these vouchers are finite, they're going to run out, and we're just further hitting that home. And then we're keeping the call to action exactly the same, and that's for the same reason as to why we used it in the first text. So yeah, so that is the 3 texts that we are going to send over the course of 2 or 3 days. Well, 2 days, basically. So yeah, so you can see there's a lot of marketing techniques within the actual texts, but the texts themselves are very informal. We don't want them to be pretentious or very highbrow or formal. We want them to seem as if they are texts from a friend. Okay, by making things seem too formal, we're adding an extra layer of sort of resistance, and it's going to make someone feel, or it could make someone feel a bit more hesitant to actually engage, because it seems far more proper and formal than they want it to be. Okay, so we're keeping it light, we're keeping it informal. I mean, even down to things like, if we look here in the second text in this, and I'll get your name down, we haven't put a capital I in the aisle. And by having sort of very small grammar mistakes or spelling mistakes in here, it could, now this is just a gut feeling, there's no statistical data that I'm basing this off, but this is just how I feel, and it's a bit of a gut feeling within me. If we're including small grammar mistakes or spelling mistakes, it could suggest to the prospect that this is a text that we have actually written out ourselves and we have sent it to them manually, and it's more of a personal thing. Because if we're just sending it ourselves just to that person, then we probably don't care too much about the odd spelling mistake here and there, as long as we're getting our message across. But if we're sending a bulk action email or text to hundreds of people or thousands of people, then people are going to assume that we're going to go through that message with a fine-tooth comb and ensure that everything is perfect, no spelling mistakes, no grammar mistakes, because it is going out to so many people. So by having like these very tiny errors in there that aren't detrimental to the message, but it could suggest to them that we're actually going out of our way to write these texts directly to them rather than a big group of people. As I say, that is a complete hunch. I don't know if that is statistically true, and using a capital I or a lowercase I is not going to make or break your database reactivation. These are just tiny little things that might help, they might not. People might just see through it and just think, look, this is a bulk action text, I know it is, but at least we're stepping forward with value. Okay, so that's the whole point here, and that is the most important thing here, is we need to step forward with value. What we can't do is send them a text and basically say, look, we're taking on more members at the moment, you know, if you're interested. Okay, that's not what we need to do. We need to step forward with value and make it worthwhile for people to actually respond to us. Okay, so that's why we're using an offer. We need to make sure that an offer is included. If you don't understand what I mean by offer, again, please just go back, watch the offer video. It's on my channel. I'll put it in the description. And yeah, as I say, if you're not creative, you can just steal the ones that are on there. And if you are, you can make your own. I give you all the tools that you need to be able to make your own. So yeah. So that's the bulk of the messages done. But for the people that respond, that is hardly the end of the journey for them. Okay, that is just the start. So for the people that we have got a thumbs up from, also another reason why we use the thumbs up is it's very easy to program into our backend software. So for us, Go High Level or whatever software that you're using to automate these texts, it's very easy for us to say, if the message includes the thumbs up emoji, then send this response. Okay. Now it might be that some people don't just send the thumbs up. They say, yes, go for it with a thumbs up, or I'm in, or sign me up, put my name down, get me a voucher, I want one. Anything that basically suggests, yes, I want to redeem the code, or I want to redeem the voucher. Another good thing that Go High Level does, and I'm sure other automating softwares will do, is it can detect the type of responses that it receives. So it can detect whether a response is positive or negative. So we can say to Go High Level, look, any positive responses, get this next message. And then we can also add in if it has the thumbs up emoji, if it has this word, that word, whatever it may be. So that's another good reason why Go High Level is a good option to go for, but I'm sure that that's probably a feature in most text and email automation softwares. So have a look if that is an option in the software that you use. I'm sure it will be. So yeah, so anyway, people have now responded, they want the voucher. This is what we then need to follow up with them with. So on response, cheers for the response, I put your name down on the voucher. To redeem it, please swing by or book a time and I'll give it to you then. See you soon, and then the link. So this is where you need to sort of look at your own business and how you operate as a business, and you need to understand what option is going to be best for you. So if you're a bit more manual with your bookings and with your member sign-ups and things like that, then you might just ask them to swing by, and then you might leave them in this link here. This link might be just a screenshot of your calendar, or it might just be a simple, I work on these days at these times, so come by, ask for my name, so ask for Paddy, and tell them, whoever's at the desk, that you're looking to redeem a code, and I'll come by and I'll sort you out, or I'll show you the ropes, or whatever the next thing may be. So that's if you're quite manual and you still sort of like to be a bit more personal with things. If you have a booking software, then obviously tell them to book a time, and then leave the link to that booking software. And yeah, that will probably be a bit more hands off for you. But what you might find is if you are a bit more manual in terms of you ask them to come by and you book them in manually, that can make the whole thing seem a bit more personal. So your conversion rate per actual lead that responds might be higher. But again, that's going to take more time. So pick your poison. Neither is wrong, neither is right. They're both good. That's for you and your business. Okay, so if they do book, and this is anything like they book a time to come in, or they book a meeting on your booking calendar, whatever it may be, you're then just going to send a last text that says, great, you're all booked in, looking forward to seeing you. This is not anything fancy. This is just basically a booking confirmation, so they know that they are expecting them to come in, so it just adds a layer of confidence that I'm going to go and they're going to know exactly who I am and why I'm there, and it just makes them feel a bit more comfortable about rocking up. Okay, now once they get sent this and they are booked in, then the whole goal of the database reactivation campaign has been achieved. Okay, you can now class this lead as reactivated. But this isn't the finish line. Really, what you've done now is you've now given yourself an opportunity to see this new lead, or this existing lead that's now actually found the time and the motivation to actually come in and see what you're about. You've given yourself an opportunity to be with them in person, and then you should push them through to a sales process that then encourages them to basically sign up for your standard package. So if you're a gym owner, this is going to be them signing up for some sort of membership. So this is going to be done it's going to be far easier to do this if you've pushed them through this whole database reactivation campaign, because what we've done is we've led with value, okay, by some sort of free offer, ideally. So we've given them a free pass, okay, and by doing so, we've built up goodwill and trust with this prospect, so that by the time they've gone through all these texts and they've come and seen you, they are now in your you are in their good books, because they can see you as trustworthy. You just want to help them out. You've given them stuff for free, and that's just extra brownie points for you as a business, so that when it comes to the time to sell and time for them to try and convert them into a customer, you've built up so much more goodwill that conversion process from basically lead that is redeeming a free code or a free pass or whatever it may be, converting them from that to a customer is going to be far easier than if you just pull up your lead list or your mailing list. You look at every single person that used to be a member or never converted into a member, and you just look at their number. You call them all up and say, "Look, we're taking more members now. Do you want to sign up?" It's going to be so much harder to convert someone from a lead into a customer by just calling them up, compared to putting them through this database reactivation campaign. Okay, yes, it takes more work, but in terms of actually the amount you put in and what you get out, this far trumps just looking through a list of people, calling them up and hoping for the best. So yeah, you get them in, they're all booked in, happy days, and then you try and push them through to an actual you push them through a sales process to then turn into an actual paying customer. That is the goal here. But yeah, so that's if everything goes swimmingly, which hopefully it will, but we know that things do not always go swimmingly, so we need to cover ourselves for if things don't go the way that we planned for them to. So here we have basically an if ghosted follow-up sequence. So in the beginning we send 3 texts, and 3 texts is probably as many texts as we can get away with before we start becoming annoying to the prospect. So if they haven't responded, then after text 3 there's no response, then we need to basically take the hint, they're not interested, stop bothering them. Okay. However, if they respond and they do show interest, then what that prospect has now done is they have opened themselves up to basically being followed up with more. I was about to say to be hassled more, but we shouldn't see this as hassling them, because at the end of the day, we're providing them value. We're giving them a free pass or a free week or whatever. So we can't see this as hassling them. We can just see this as like, look, you've got a good offer sat here in front of you. You've shown your interest. All you've got to do is book in. So I just want to make sure that you're actually making the most of this thing. So this is what a follow-up sequence is going to look like if they respond but they don't book. So if ghosted 1 day later after you send this second text, of like, cheers for the response, and you send them the booking link or your calendar so they can come in at an appropriate time. So if ghosted, the first follow-up is going to be, well, the if ghosted message is, hi name, I've still got the voucher sat on my desk with your name on it. You just need to organise a time to redeem it. So again, these are just simple, just reminders. That's all we're doing here, okay? Basically, I think there's 5 different follow-ups. You don't have to copy these. All we're doing here is basically just being like, hi, we're here, you haven't booked, feel free to do it here, okay? And we're just giving them the call to action again and again and again, and we're just slowly chipping away at them, okay? This doesn't need to be fancy or anything like that. We don't need any big marketing tactics here. Just simple messages is all we need for the follow-ups. But just so you get an idea of what you can write, then I've given examples. So then a day later, so then the follow-up message 1 is going to be, hi name, just to remind you, you can book a visit or time to come in at, the link is here, okay? Follow-up 2, hi name, I've got people who missed out on the voucher that are still interested in getting one. I don't want to have to give yours away. Book a visit here. So again, look, we're basically showing them, look, there's still demand. They can probably assume that we've sold out again, and there are people that still want them, and they should know that we're in a position of power whereby we've got these things that people are in demand of. You've put your name on it, but if you don't engage, there are plenty of other people that would happily take your voucher. So I'm more than happy to strike your name off the voucher and give it to someone else. So that's what we're doing there. It's a little bit of urgency. It will hopefully ignite a fire in them to think like, oh, okay, I don't want to lose it. And it's going to push them to take action. And then a day later, and this is where we sort of become extremely informal, and we enter the realm of memes. So you don't have to send memes if you don't want to be the sort of person to send out this kind of stuff because you see it as a bit informal or unprofessional, then fine. But again, it's 2024, okay? We don't have to be suit and tie all the time. We can have a bit of fun. And another great reason as to why we think memes are a good way of following people up is they're just a pattern interrupt, okay? Everyone's used to receiving just bland standard texts, which are just, hey, would love for you to connect, or just basic, very boring, cookie cutter business terminology that people have just been smashed with day in, day out for years. So by showing a meme, sure, it's unprofessional, sure, it's a bit more informal, but it's a big pattern interrupt, and it's just going to break up the monotony of just boring business terminology of like, oh, would love for you to follow up, or sorry, would love for you to connect, or follow booking your thing here, or whatever it may be. So if you want to use this, you can. If you don't, but we see no problem, and we have used memes and they do work. Okay, so you don't have to make these complicated. So the first one, me waiting for you to book a visit, and it's Mr. Bean. The second one is, I wonder if you'll ever book a visit, and it's SpongeBob sat there staring into the abyss, hoping that you'll book a visit. So again, we're showing that we've got a bit of sense of humour, and there might be some people that actually buy into this and prefer this rather than being very professional. Okay, we're not lawyers, we're not discussing contracts or mortgages or anything of great severity. Okay, we're talking about gym memberships and people redeeming free offers. So we don't need to take ourselves too seriously here, and if we want to send things like this, it's all just light-hearted fun, which I think a lot of people will actually appreciate. And as I say, it's just a really good pattern interrupt, and it just breaks you away from the crowd that are just sending these people just bland, boring messages. Okay, so something to keep in mind, you can actually make these, you can see where I've imgflip.com, you can just make these really simple memes on that website. You can download them and then you can just send them to whoever. So yeah, if you want to do it, that's a good website for it, and yeah, it does work. So you can make a call as to whether you want to use them or not. And then finally, follow-up 5, this is where we call it quits. This is where we sort of accept, okay, they responded, but they're obviously not that interested. And we essentially say, hi name, I'm sorry to break the bad news, but I'll give you 24 hours from now to book a visit. If not, I'll have to give your voucher to someone else. Hope you understand. Cheers, Paddy, or whatever your name is. Obviously not Paddy. Unless your name is Paddy, then happy days. But so essentially here, a final stab of urgency. Okay, I don't want to. Sorry to break bad news, but I'll give you 24 hours from now to book a visit. Okay, so we're just basically giving them an ultimatum here of, look, you've got 24 hours from now, book or lose it. Use it or lose it, essentially. And this is our final straw of just trying to get someone to book. Now, this might work, but to be honest, if we've got to day, what would we be on now? Probably like day 7, if we take into account all of these. Day 6 or 7. If someone's got to here and they've managed to resist the SpongeBob meme and resist the Mr. Bean meme, then it's probably quite unlikely that they're going to actually book. But we'll send them one final try. And yeah, this is a good way of rounding things off, is basically just saying, look, I'm going to give you a voucher away. I've got people sat here that are interested. So if you're not, then I'm going to give it to someone who is. And yeah, so that's the final straw. And if it doesn't work, then fine. And hopefully we'll get them on the next database reactivation campaign. So that is it in a nutshell. Okay, so hopefully that was useful. You can see that it's quite a simple thing in reality. I mean, there's a lot of techniques and tactics that we use within this to sort of make it as effective as we possibly can, but the general gist of it is extremely basic. It's very simple. So yeah, so please do use this. If you haven't before, it's going to be a really good tool to use, particularly honestly if you've got a mailing list that is about 5,000 people plus. You could get easily 20, but you could really start to think about maybe getting like 30-40 people into your gym within the next fortnight if you use this and you've got a big mailing list. So if you're watching this now and you're sat on a mailing list and you don't know what to do with them, please do this. You will there's no doubt that you will see results. And then yeah, you can then comment on this video and tell me how great it was and that you wish you knew about it before. If you want a copy of this Miro board, so you can go in, you can zoom in and zoom out yourself and take a note, and maybe you want to change some of the messages yourself, which I do recommend that you do. Don't just copy and paste everything that I do here. Take the teachings, take the tactics, and morph them into your own messages. But yeah, I'll leave it in the description, and you can access it there. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Hopefully you found this useful. Hopefully you do go forward and actually use this. It does work. So if you do use it and you find some success, leave a comment. Let me know what you found. I love to hear that what I'm putting out here is actually helping. Now, if you are a gym owner and you are really struggling with this whole customer acquisition thing and you're struggling to wrap your head around sales and marketing, we do have an offer which is going to provide you with a bit more of a hands-on and a personalized approach to solve this problem. Okay, so I'll leave a link in the description. That's going to be a link to our landing page, and on that there will be a video of me basically explaining how we can solve the problem for you. Okay, now the landing page is a sales funnel, so the video and the actual landing page, the whole point of it is to get you to book a call and then eventually buy something. So I'm not going to pretend like it's not, but it is there if you're interested. But if not, then that's absolutely fine. I'm just really glad that you have made it to the end of the video. Please use this stuff if it's suitable for your business. It will work. If you like the video, then there is a button for that, so press the button. Let me know if you have any other ideas in terms of videos and what you need help with, and I will make that for you. The goal of this channel is to provide as much value as I possibly can to gym owners and fitness professionals. So I'm here to serve you. Give me ideas and I will make the videos. But yeah, until next time, take care.